welcome to the episode where we take Belinda Carlisle. Yes, of the Go-Go's, and then she also had a solo career. I was actually obsessed with her as a little girl, and I assumed that she would be like a 7 wing 693 or something when I started actually looking at her, and then I was shocked to discover something when I was looking at photos of her, which was the raging one fix, the raging one gut that jumped out of the photos at me. I was like, wait, what is this? I've been deceived by Belinda Carlisle all these years. Anyway.
She also looks very three.
Mm-hmm.
Like she just kind of has that face.
Yeah, she kind of looks like Charlize Theron to me.
Yeah. And like a kind of almost Nicole Kidman-ish, but like a little less severe. But
yeah, we're starting from the place that she's probably a self-preservation social. Maybe she's social self-pres, but we're starting here. Probably 3 wing 4 core, maybe 1 wing 9 fix and 7 wing 8 fix. This is based on us like scouring clips and stuff. But yeah, it was not what I was expecting, because when you look at younger, but I think that as we age, our fixes become more pronounced, especially our gut fixed. I've noticed like you can really see the one more in older photos of her, or adult photos rather. It's not like, if you look at kind of younger ones of her, she looks more like 3'7", 9 even, a little bit.
well, like one is kind of like a like older soul fix, like compared to 9, I feel like. So during youth, like especially if you're in like a rock band or something, I don't necessarily think it will be so pronounced. Like it's very easy to think like younger, like musical artists and stuff, like they can have that more like 9-ish, like um like rollicky type vibe.
Frolicky type vibe. Because this is where I was like, like finding it really interesting, and because it does talk about her history a little bit, and she's clearly like super assertive type, like left home when she was young and like was like, fuck you, I'm gonna be famous. And that does kind of seem like 7337 stemish to me.
Mm-hmm.
Career, Belinda Carlisle was at her thinnest and lowest. She was terrified of gaining weight after years of the press weighing in pound for pound.
Has she been eating any, it looks like she's been heading to the deli trays, backstage, that kind of thing. And it was horrible.
Belinda Carlisle, look how pudgy she looks.
It's a different thing to just think you put on weight and then read about it in like 80 publications.
The pressure to be thin plunged Belinda into...
This is pretty heavy. I think this would actually be worse for a 3 too than maybe any other kind.
Mm-hmm.
Any other.
Yeah, I'm finding this. I didn't see this video before, and having gained 20 pounds the past year, I'm finding this triggering.
Oh, sorry, Bisou. We don't have to watch this part.
No, I'm kidding, but I'm fine. The one thing I know, I've always thought of the 7-1 trifix as like kind of a motto for them, is like you can never be too rich or too thin. Like I feel like that's like very applicable to that trifix.
Her new house was located just off the Sunset Strip. It was an apartment nicknamed Disgraceland.
This is my bedroom at Disgraceland. I was very much into casting spells on boys, hence the altar.
This used to be an altar. I used to burn candles and stuff.
Disgraceland was like Animal House without John Belushi.
It was called such because it was a disgrace to walk into and see this place.
It looked like a landfill in a house. And it was because we were glamour girls and also insane slobs. The whole floor was filled with petticoats, spike heels, fishnets.
I collect things and never throw anything away.
Sparkles.
SP.
sweaters, leather jackets, everything just sort of like piled up, wristbands, rhinestone earrings, and I had to clean out the altar to make room for more crap that I bought. Beer cans, underwear, fast food wrappers. It was a dump.
And it was a party 24/7.
My whole thing was experiencing and having a good time, and that was my attitude towards drugs. I wanted to try everything. I remember the first time that I
Seven head. Like I was even like entertaining 7 wing 8 for her as a core, and then I was like, no, that doesn't fit. It doesn't quite fit. She's not like fun enough, like she has all these stories, all these crazy drug stories and stuff, and but then you actually witness her on camera and it's like, I don't think that's her core type.
No, yeah, I saw like some other interviews with her when she was younger and older, and she actually had that kind of like image affect to her. But I do see 7 wing 8 fix. Like you said, there's a strong 3-7 stem, like kind of double assertive, like the type that has the guts or like the chutzpah to leave home early and like go pursue their dreams. But it's not like the 7 wing 6 head where it's like more frenetic. It's like 7 wing 8 is much more like kind of grounded and like a realism. Even if they're like partying like crazy and live in a disgraced land, like there's something about their vibe that's just more grounded.
Yeah, and she's kind of scary. Like like she has like a thing that I want to say is this sort of like 3, 4, 7, 8 ones. There's a sort of like look to them. It's like Maleficent or something. It's like there's this kind of, I'm sure she's like nice or whatever, but as she's aged, and like I've just noticed that there's like this thing where certain celebrities have aged in a way where it's like, oh wow, that's like their type is like totally shaping like their face or something. It's like
Yeah.
I did coke, and I liked it. I remember thinking,
you know what? Actually, I classify coke as a 3 drug. Like to me, every friend that I've had that has had some coke problem has been a 3. I'm pretty sure. So
no comments, but it. I don't know. I think like in general, like drugs, I think get like subscribed to 7, whereas really, especially in her like milieu or like being like a celebrity, like in a girl band, whatever, like it is very prevalent. And really any type can get into it.
especially because it was part of the image. And I don't know if we're gonna find this in one of the videos. I think I sent some of these to Tammy, and she pointed out a part where she was talking about like having the image of a rock star, if like a degenerate rock star was like what she was going for because that was what was cool. So it's like she could have got into that in that 3-way of like adapting, becoming the special, like especially with a wing 4 where she's like trying to become the exemplar in like her own whatever icy queen way. I feel like I just butchered the fuck out of what I was trying to say. Do you have a better way to say that?
But I also think like I don't know, I don't know that much about her, but if she was like trying to be thin or like struggling with weight things, like cocaine can be a popular drug. Thinking of David Bowie, like when he was in a certain, his very skinny phase and claimed his diet was just cocaine and tomatoes. Like a 3-wing 4 guy.
the money to afford this, which is really good.
It would be a wish Belinda one day would come to regret.
I feel like it's these pictures where you can see the wing 8. Like there's something.
Just months after Belinda moved to Hollywood, a new sound would come to town as well. It was called punk rock. It would fill a void in Belinda's life.
it was family that understood you, that encouraged you to be different, that was rebellious, was fun, liked to listen to the same music. I mean, it was my family.
And it would put her on the path.
Yeah, I think like also identifying it as like your family is like an attachment core thing to do, maybe. And
I
maybe
think
not social blind.
Yeah. And I don't think we might not get to her typing, but like if you compare to, I'm forgetting the name, like the
Jane?
other main woman in her bands.
Jane?
Yeah, Jane. Is interesting because the way she characterized like the drug use and everything was like totally different. Like, and she's kind of more on the like 6-9 stem type thing, and it was much more like, granted she had like mental illness or whatever, but she was also like, it was more about needing the drugs to like get through everything. Like just, you do the cocaine to get the energy to be able to perform and to get the confidence. And then you need to drink to take the edge off. And like, it was much, kind of, I would say more like downer, but like much more, fueled by like a feeling of like internal necessity to like drive away like negative feelings, whereas like Belinda's much more I did it like because I could afford it and like whatnot.
Mm.
To stardom. In May 1978, Belinda would meet Jane Whelan at a party. Their lives would never be the same.
We were drinking beer and everybody we knew was in a band, and it's like, okay, well, let's form a band. Okay, what do you want to do? Do you play guitar? No, but I'll pick it up. And the only thing that was left for me was drums and singing, and I'm like I'm too lazy to play drums. And I thought, well, I might as well sing then. I had never sung before, but didn't really matter back then because you didn't need to have any experience to be in a band. And in fact, that was sort of a prerequisite, is not knowing how to play. I ended up singing, with that.
I have a good time whenever I'm here.
Or is this hard work?
Well, it's hard work, but I have a good time.
That's great. Can we briefly, I'm sure you've talked about it so many times, you're tired of doing so, but can we briefly summarize the 10 years so far in the business for you? The Go-Go's.
Yeah, we formed the Go-Go's in 1978. We were very big and everywhere except for here, and broke up the band in 1984. And
the Go-Go's, let's just get it, put all the pieces into place. An all-male, all-female.
This guy is such a like dorky 6 or something. What do you get for her instincts? Have you got anything off this yet? Like, I mean, I'm just leaning SPSO out of kind of lazy.
Yeah, I'm getting SPSO. There's something just kind of like matter of fact about her. Not that's not quite the word I'm looking for, but it's just like,
see it too.
This is what I did, and like this is, it's not a lot of like, I don't get like the SOSP, like more like abstraction or whatever.
it was a Cinderella story. We started from nothing and didn't know how to play instruments, and like,
The threes love their Cinderella stories.
and to the top, really. And we were together for a long time, 6 years, and we broke up the band in 1984. And I came up with my first solo album in 85.
You were just 20.
But I don't know if we'll find the video, but I think Jane talked about, or one of them talked about how Belinda had used to throw tantrums though because they weren't getting famous after like 3 years, which seems like a 3-7 thing. I think. I imagine this is when tensions are starting to boil. This is why I wondered at first if Jane was actually like a 7 or something too, but I think she's a 6-wing-7. But I think she was writing most of the songs or co-writing them with one of the other girls, and you can see it's like as they're getting famous and everyone's like Belinda, and that she's getting like in the background, like so you can kind of feel the tension a little bit.
I'm Jane. This is Gina.
I'm Gina.
Belinda.
Belinda.
No.
No.
James allowed to speak for us.
Okay.
Anyway, no, I don't think we should start again. I think that was perfect. And these are 10 of our favorite videos, 10 of our
We fought long and hard to come up with this definitive list of 10.
yeah. We like them the very new. So
We're proud
here we
to
go.
present them to you tonight.
Kind of also fun just watching their heads. Like you can't really see them, like how their face is doing like totally different typological things.
Mhm.
I don't know which one of the groups it was in, but probably Vivi. I think Isolde posted something about how SPDOMs see people as resources, like as their own property to, and I started thinking when I was watching this, like, I bet like if she's a SPSO3 wing 4, she's probably like using these people to build her empire. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what Jane started to like cue into, and then was like, I think that like Belinda dissolved the band because she was like getting over addiction or something. But I still think like you could see that there's this like friction building. These are the parts that get me the most excited, are the behind the scenes like feuds that are going
Yeah.
as the toxic social dom that I am.
Right. Starting with It, which is one of our favorite
One of our
videos.
all-time favorite videos.
The thickest, most work dimensioned video I think that was ever made, and captures the essence of Devo, which is one of the thickest dimensioned bands I think ever existed on the face of the planet.
And absolutely so ahead of its time in its thickness.
In a good way. So here they are, Devo with it. With it good. This video is directed by, I think, one of my favorite video directors, anyway, Sophie Miller. And
like she almost looks like she could be like a CEO or something here. It's like
Right. Yeah, that's like the vibe I get from her, is like a very like CEO, professional, like businesswoman.
yeah, she's like this woman who became a punk pop star. Like
I think it's what made the song. The song is a great song, but I think it's an amazing video, and well, genius in every way of lighting. And I think that they're a good band anyway. But the video is perfect.
I really like the morbid quality of it. I mean, actually, like showing somebody dead, and it's good. It's like a Hans Christian Andersen kind of fairy tale thing, where it's like really dark.
Second time. Hi, I'm Gina. I'm gonna go see two on.
the afterthought, like in the middle.
Hi, I'm Jane. I'm Gina's sidekick.
And hi. And hi.
She looks like a 9-wing one. I don't know what she is.
I'm just kind of almost wondering, because I didn't see that many videos of her before.
What do you mean?
I mean, could she be like a 7-wing 8 core, or like?
I don't think so. I think she's too dry. Like,
because she seems almost too unlike, what's the word, like unaffected, like for a 3-wing 4 in some ways. But I mean, that could be the influence of her tri-fix and stack.
I think so, because 7, like if she's a 7-wing 8, she would still have some kind of investment in being like interesting. Do you know what I mean? Like some kind of ego investment in, I think, being at least somewhat charming. And and I mean, I know that charming is the 3 thing, but I think 3-wing 4s, especially if there's like something like a 1 fix, it's like they're not really as charming, you know.
Mm-hmm. Although I think she thinks she's interesting, which could point to either 3 or 7. You know?
And
I also think she's an attachment core just because of stuff that she said, and like, and I watched one video where she was talking about her like her father abandoned her. I don't know if you saw this, but her father abandoned her when she was like a baby, and then he came back into her life when she got famous. And I was like, oh my God, what is she gonna do? And she just shut him out, which I was like, wow. And then that did make me wonder, is she a wing 8? Like, is that a rejection move? But I think it was also like I don't know, I could see it being a 3 wing 4 7 thing, because I think it's kind of like that a bit too. Like, she's shut out tons of family members for like maybe for not seeing her how she wants to be seen, or doing what she wants, because there's like a real control thing with 7s, and I think it's probably amplified with 8 or 1, and she has both. So yeah, I don't know, I don't she doesn't seem, she also doesn't like glib or like a lot of 7 wing 8s are just kind of like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, she's very, I think, strong on both. I saw a video that was like pretty interesting when she was like old, not old, like middle age. She was kind of talking about, I guess I don't know if she sings in like French now or like some other language or whatever. And she was just very much like, I do this because, no like good songwriter in English is going to give me a song because I'm not like young enough and on, top on the charts. Which did seem like, I mean, it could be 3 or 7, but like a kind of smart, like SPSO, at least like career move. Like, okay, I'll sing in like whatever language, like other language. I can't remember what it was. That I can get like hits on.
Maybe this is like a stereotype that doesn't hold up for all 7s, but I also feel like if you're a 7 who doesn't have like a ton of your own ideas, like you're doing your type wrong. Because I feel like that's kind of one of the tenets of being a 7, is like almost too many options, too many ideas, too many, which I don't think 7s are associated with being like writers, but it's just like nonstop creativity, I feel like. So on some level, like even Megan Fox, who
Jennifer's Body is like one of my favorite movies ever. So I just love her for that.
I love it.
I don't know. I can see both. She's another one where I can see both like the 3 and 7 pretty strongly. I'd always thought of her as typed as a 7.
Yeah,
but I haven't looked into her extensively.
She has this show. I mean, I think it got canceled, but she has this like show that she was hosting where it was like, Megan Fox takes you to Stonehenge. Megan Fox takes you like she had all these ideas for like what was going on in the world, and I think she actually kind of found something in the one episode where I was like, oh man, I think she's right, like about sound frequencies and stuff. And this was ages ago that she made this. She was all into like ancient aliens and shit, and I feel like if you're 7 and you don't have like all kinds of things, like, you know what I mean, like you're like the most boring 7 on the fucking planet. But
and it was really sort of a relief, I think, wasn't it, to like finally be able to be ourselves and not have to be a go-go.
that's also an interesting thing she just said, to feel like I can be myself. It's like, you created your own career, like you made that role for yourself. You guys were scrappy girl band that created yourself, and you didn't feel like you could be yourself.
So not to get into this rabbit hole again, but do you think she could be a 3 wing too?
No,
because she doesn't, like, when I think of like she 3 wing 4, it's like, well, I don't know how to put this in like a diplomatic way or whatever. It's just, she isn't like doesn't seem that very other oriented. It's true.
She also looks triple frustration to me. There was one interview where she was like, should have prepared this. Oh, this one where she's scary in here. She looks like a 3-wing 4 with a 1 fix here.
Chocolate. I don't know. I had PMS,
Right.
really bad PMS. And I just decided to do it. And it was too late to try to grow it back. But actually, I kind of like it. Yeah, it's easy. It's very easy.
Oh, she cut off her hair when she had PMS. That's like a total frustration influence thing to do. It's like the shit that I literally just cut my hair because I was getting mad at my hair. It's funny.
Yeah, once I was like, we all go through these phases. I gave myself like a fringe that didn't look good when I was having like some kind of meltdown. And like, since I've done some things like that in the past, I'm like, I stopped myself and like, it's not worth it. Like, don't do it. Like, 'cause it doesn't look good on me or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, I mean, but you live and learn.
I do feel like reactive types or very reactive people tend to like cut their hair more when they're like upset about relationships or something. Like, I don't need you. I'm like cut off their hair. Probably cut their hair off after a breakup or something. Yeah, I just cut my hair when it starts to annoy me. Because like, oh yeah, and I had like weird stuff in it, and it was like growing its own. It was just time. I like her music.
I get by.
I actually like her solo music.
Yeah, it's hard to say, but I'm fine with 3-wing 4. SPSO, they're very professional. Like, I don't know how else to put it.
Yes, they are the most like bare bones version of every try, I think. And I think that's why sometimes it's hard to tell when someone's like a certain trifix if they're SPSO, because it's like, really? But she does kind of have a Steve Jobs thing going on right here.
Yeah, she really does.
Okay. Belinda Carlisle, self-press social, 3-wing 4, 7-wing 8, 1-wing, probably 9, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's got that kind of like high and calm and mighty, like thing. So
yeah, no like preachiness at all.
yeah, I mean, I could see the superego in some of her later interviews, but it wasn't like head centery super ego-y where it's like, see the problem. And it wasn't. And I wasn't seeing it in the image center either. It was because she's always just talking about her rise from the ashes of drug addiction or whatever. And then yeah, it's more in the gut center, just that she seems like very like she knows what's right and like she's gonna do the right thing. It's not like up for debate.
Mm-hmm.